let us all do we can to build a better future.
I started reporting on this, I think it was last year. Alden Global Capital has reached an agreement to purchase Tribune Publishing, which is based here in Chicago. It is a parent company of the Chicago Tribune, the New York Daily News, the Hartford Courant, South Florida's Sun Sentinel, and Orlando Sentinel, Virginia's Daily Press, and the Virginia Pilot, and the Morning Call of Lehigh Valley, Pennsylvania. The Baltimore Sun will be sold to a public charity. It is known, this hedge fund has been known as Robert Fader comments in his excellent blog post on the topic. It has been known for bleeding newspapers dry. We've already seen this with people like our Chicago's own Phil Vitale, the full-time food critic the only full-time food critic for the Chicago Tribune, recently took a buyout and he's gone. This is the death knell. This is a death knell for a Chicago institution and institution in many other cities as well. Keep in mind that hedge funds are all about, hedging and getting, and getting their money. Their mission is not journalism based.
So there's a couple of takeaways I'm getting from this, especially since we know the history of what hedge funds do to a lot of corporations, businesses, no matter how you want to call them. They're vultures. They're going to be consuming the corpse until it's all gone. So sooner or later, folks, especially for our viewing audience in the Chicagoland area, a couple of things are going to happen. Witness a whole bunch of layoffs. Witness a lot of the reporters being laid off or working now for half their salary or something like that happening. And then sooner or later down the road, they're going to sell the Chicago Tribune building. And I think maybe a year or so, when Heartlands Media continues to take over the city, we will buy the Tribune Tower. So there we go.
Oh, yes, we will definitely have a few million dollars to make that occur.
I mean, and look, I'm trying to be optimistic, which was really what's going to happen with this hedge fund. This hedge fund is going to cannibalize Chicago Tribune, and a lot of good people are going to lose their jobs. And again, people wonder why the media is doing such a terrible job right now. It's because they're owned by entities that should not be involved with journalism. Yeah. Period.
It's their business, the business model of many of these places. Like how old is the place again? How old is
the Chicago Tribune?
Yeah, it's like 100 years old, right?
More than that, bro. It's way more than that.
It's older than any person that's alive.
Well, and I think you also have to keep in mind what happens. They start moving to freelancers. They start buying up syndicated content. We saw what happened with the Sun-Times when they released all of their photographers and they went entirely to freelancers. You don't have proper photo editors. You don't have that kind of quality control. And at a time when, there's this rush to put content out, and reporting can suffer. Accuracy suffers. And when it's all about the bottom line, it gets even worse. Yeah. I was talking to somebody who worked for the Chicago Reader back in the 90s. He said, back at that time, we actually had this organization called the City Bureau. Mm-hmm. And it was a group of journalists. All that they did was report on city news. They were at all the commission meetings. They were at all the hearings. And you actually had real local news about the nitty-gritty things that were happening on a day-to-day basis. That's gone. All of this is gone. And, I would love it, again, we've talked about this on the show, we would love it if we were able to have staff that could actually attend commission meetings, but we have a studio to support. Yeah. And there are, I know that the folks at Block Club Chicago do a fantastic job, but again, they've got a fairly young staff. They're just getting their chops, and I know that when the time comes, their best and their brightest are going to move on because they have to pay down their student loan debt.
Right. Yeah. It's such an important. It's a catch-22 of like where media is right now. Like we're trying to push this new model of online broadcasting, expanding into Chicago broadcasting, expanding into radio broadcasting, perhaps expanding into some TV airwaves, but we understand. I think we understand that it's difficult. It's really difficult to just maintain this sort of stuff. And I can only imagine if you're an organization who has been around for over 100 years, and you've always had 100,000 people buy your weekly circulation or whatever the number is, all of a sudden the internet comes and takes you over. You haven't adapted fast enough. You haven't built things in place fast enough. You even adjusted your business model, and before you know it, no one is buying a subscription from you anymore. No new people are buying from new subscriptions from you because they're like, I can go anywhere else for news.
Yeah.
You have to start laying off people because you can't afford them, which decreases the quality of your newspaper or your show or whatever it is, which then means less people want to subscribe to it because it has less value, which causes you to lay off more people, which causes less people to subscribe, which causes more people to be laid off. And then eventually you get bought out by a hedge fund who bleeds you dry.
Yeah. But I actually got a great caveat to all of this. I'm going to end it with this note. And shout out to Freddie Dunning Kruger Jr., who says, Hard Lens Tower. That has a ring to it. And you know what? You, Freddie Dunning Kruger Jr., are the winner of today's live stream chat. There's no reward. You just get the points.
If we had anything, we would have obviously 99 perspective.
Yeah.
Or it would have to have exactly 98 windows.
Yes.
And then we just tell everyone you have to find the 99th.
Yeah, that would be great. And eventually we find out.
Get the 99 perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, actually, here's how we do it. It's 97 windows, and we say you have to find the 99th, and it's like your eyes are the two last windows. Boom.